Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. Now, as some of you may have seen, the MMA Guru and Michael Bisping have kind of been going at it, or more like, Michael Bisping's been going at MMA Guru fans in his live stream chats, and the MMA Guru did a video exposing it. I want to talk about it and give my opinion on it, and, say who I more or less agree with, and all that good stuff. But before we do, please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate your subscription. I'm going to thank you for it in advance. As a Canadian should, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Don't be the kind of guy that doesn't do the thing that he's already been thanked for. Please. I greatly appreciate it, especially someone who's being so goddamn polite to you. Okay, now, the MMA Guru did a video kind of exposing Michael Bisping where some, I guess, messages, I'm a little confused on whether or not they are messages or live chat logs or what they are, but that were leaked to him or shown to him by some of his fans, where Michael Bisping is, just trashing the MMA Guru anytime he gets brought up or anytime one of his fans says something in the comment section or in the live chat or whatever kind of message this was. Again, not quite sure. Was a little confused about that, but anyways, I've been kind of critical of Michael Bisping before. I don't necessarily appreciate his commentary. I respect him as a fighter, and I'm glad that he has been able to find success in YouTube as a way to make good money outside, after his fight career. I don't like seeing guys wither away to nothing, become poor, and whatnot. And I'm glad that he's been able to do that. And I know that he's got a lot of fans, so I know that there's the possibility that a lot of people dislike this video because of who I more or less side with in this regard. But he's done well for himself. He's got over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. But I will say that I agree with the MMA Guru on this one, that he's got 500,000 subs, or more than that, 550,000, but we'll say 500,000 just to downplay, the same way he did to the MMA Guru's subscriber count. The reason he has those is, one, because of his fight career, obviously, which is fine. He's earned that. He earned his fight career. He earned the notoriety that he got from that. He earned the middleweight title, and has got some name value because of it. And then another aspect is that he's, shoved in your face every other Saturday in the commentary booth. So a lot of people have, became familiar with Michael Bisping. They recognize the voice, so they're more willing to listen and subscribe to somebody who they're already kind of familiar with, I guess. But what I don't like is him trashing the MMA Guru by saying, oh, he only has this many subscribers. He only has 60,000. Well, first of all, he's got more than 60,000. I don't know the exact number, but I think it was about 70 the last time I saw. That kid, and I'm going to call him a kid a few times. It's not out of disrespect. It's because he's younger than me. That kid built his audience from nothing in his parents' shed, as he, so famously says over and over again. I think what this really is Michael Bisping, this is the MMA Guru exposing Michael Bisping's inability to take criticism and his sensitivity towards his ego. Because there's been a couple times where we've seen him unable to take jokes. I consider the MMA Guru to be a somewhat comedic YouTuber. Like, yes, he is an MMA YouTuber. Yes, he takes his prediction videos seriously. He takes his breakdowns seriously. He does a good job at getting into detail and things like that. But he is also a pretty funny dude. He makes good jokes. He does good impressions. All of it. So when I hear him, his criticisms toward Michael Bisping had jokes in them, of course. But it wasn't just jokes. He did a video a while back on Bisping's commentary, and dude, I agree with most of what he said. I think that, in my opinion, I know it's fun to hate on Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier, but I'll just put it to you, like, I would rather listen to Laura Sanko on commentary any day of the week than I would listen to Michael Bisping. I can't stand Michael Bisping's commentary. He is the commentator that I most often will mute my TV when I am watching. If he's commentating, I'll just mute it or put the volume down to like 2. You know what I mean? So I don't have to hear him, because it's cringe. He makes bad jokes. He's not that funny. I know a lot of people find him funny. I do not find him funny. So I think that and I'm not saying that he's intimidated by the MMA guru in a physical sense. I believe he is intimidated by people who are funnier than him. I think maybe he had some problems as a child with bullies, and it really gets to him when people are cracking jokes at him. But all of the MMA guru's criticisms on his commentary were legitimate, in my opinion. And he guys do this thing where they say, like, well, what have you accomplished type thing to be criticizing me. Well, one, I don't have to accomplish what you've accomplished to criticize it. People criticize the leader of their countries all the time. All the time. 99.9% of them have never become an elected official of any kind. Now, the counter to that would be, okay, well, they're public servants. Okay, fine. This reminds me very much of Schaub. I don't like Brendan Schaub at all. And he has one of the most hateful subreddits on the internet. But it didn't start out that way, okay? Because he had, at first, fans who attempted to give him good faith criticism. He then went on to call them homeless people or cats. Like, that's what he thought of them. So, hence the homeless cats thing in their subreddit. But the only reason Brendan Schaub is successful is because of those fans. So your fans giving you criticism when they're the ones that made you successful it's not that crazy. They don't have to be podcasters in order to know that you can't stop interrupting guests. You think you're way smarter than you are, and you have a horrible speech impediment. Michael Bisping he's the exact same way. The commentary that you're giving is directly for fans watching at home. So if fans watching at home have a problem with your commentary, then perhaps you should listen and try and weigh whether or not you believe they are good faith or bad faith criticisms and maybe implement them. He makes cringy jokes all the time. He is very argumentative. This is something that the MMA guru brought up in his video. He will argue with other commentators like no other commentator argues. He will argue with fighters during post-fight speeches about how close fights were or this and that based on his opinion of how a fight went, which is oftentimes wrong. I literally heard this on last Saturday multiple times. Him scoring fights he was just blatantly wrong. I couldn't understand. 2 rounds up for one dude when it was clearly 1-1. Shit like that. But, dude, I hate to say this word because it's so cringe now, but I more identify with someone like the MMA guru than I do with Michael Bisping. And I think that he's a little out of touch here, if I'm being honest. Because him shitting on a guy who's got 70,000 subs, and I want to say this too, I'm pretty confident that I know that the MMA YouTuber, who the MMA guru would not name, that told him that Michael Bisping hates him, was Jesse on Fire, because Jesse on Fire knows Michael Bisping and talks to him. But just a few short months ago, Jesse on Fire had that same amount of subs. And you're friends with him, Michael Bisping, so why are you shitting on a guy with 70,000 subs who, again, has said many times over, like, I'm just a kid in my parents' fucking shed? It's impressive. And it's what a lot of people hope to achieve one day. He's been able to make a living on YouTube. Created a career for himself with no boss, and that's fucking awesome. Doing something that he loves. Bisping, on the other hand, I don't think he understands internet culture at all. I don't think he, loves doing his podcast. I think that he's doing it for money. And I know that the MMA, in a roundabout way, everybody's doing it for money. But it's different when you're not already set up. When you're someone like the MMA guru, a young kid, and you're like, no, I don't want to work these bullshit jobs. I want to have a career talking about the sport that I love the most. And, you're able to create that for yourself. That's commendable. It's awesome, and I hope to be able to do the same one day. And I don't like that Michael Bisping just shits all over guys for that. But it reminds me of another time when we got to see Michael Bisping's sensitivity and his inability to take jokes or criticisms, for that matter, on Kill Tony, a podcast, comedy podcast, where there will be Tony Hinchcliffe, he's the host, a few other regular guys that are always there, and then they'll have like guest hosts, and even guys like Joe Rogan, who are notorious for having a bad sense of humor on their own podcasts, are able to go on to Kill Tony, take all the jokes, laugh, and have a good time, because what they're supposed to be doing is judging the comedian stand-up. These are comedians who are trying to, like, it's... Tony Hinchcliffe has done this thing where if you get a really good crowd reaction or whatever, you get 1 minute to do a good job, and if you do a good job, then they help you out by allowing you to open, or I can't remember. He's explained it on Joe Rogan before. Michael Bisping was the butt of a couple jokes from this larger black gentleman on the show, and immediately went to the same sort of things that he's resorting to with the MMA guru, except in real time. So he didn't have any time or anybody to consult to come up with, he's got more, or he's got less subscribers than pies in his fridge, which is a horrible fucking joke, by the way. That's just not even practical. He's got 70,000 fucking subscribers. How's he fitting 70,000 subs in a goddamn fridge? Pies, pardon me. Yeah, he's keeping his subscribers locked in fridges. The Troll King. It's just a bad joke. But when in real time, when he doesn't have time to think and type something out, and he's responding with his voice in real time, all he could resort to was calling him a fat motherfucker and threatening to beat him up. This is a comedy podcast where oftentimes the men at the table, or the women that are sitting at the table, are the butt of the jokes. You're supposed to judge the joke, not get offended because a comedian whose job is to make jokes is making jokes at your expense. It's like when people say, if you don't want to get picked on by the comedian, don't sit in the front row. Well, if you don't want to get picked on by comedians, don't go on a fucking comedy podcast as the judge of these comedians. It's fucking strange, dude. He immediately resorts to, I could beat you up and you're fat. That's all he does. And with the MMA guru, we kind of saw the same thing. And it's fucking cringy, man. Like, these guys don't understand internet culture. I love me some Anthony Smith, man, but Anthony Smith also was going off on the MMA guru on a podcast a little while ago, and it was on Believe You Me with Michael Bisping, and he was saying how if he sees him, he's going to knock him out because you can't just talk shit, dude. This is the internet. And he's not just talking shit. He gives criticism with jokes embedded. It's not that big of a deal. He did say in his video when he was criticizing the commentary that he thinks it's an IQ problem. And maybe I don't know, man. Maybe that's what Anthony Smith's talking about. But he doesn't really go that fucking hard at Michael Bisping. And if we're being fair, nobody does. So I'm glad that he's putting out videos talking shit about his commentary. And not just talking shit about it, giving prime examples. Giving good examples, numerous examples as to why he thinks his commentary is bad. Like I said, I would rather listen to Laura Senko any day of the fucking week, man. Just hands down. Bisping annoys the shit out of me. He was annoying the shit out of me on that broadcast. I listened to it because I wanted to hear how Laura Senko did on her first fight night. I've heard her commentate on the Contender series, but I wanted to hear like how, and it seems like Bisping was a little like angry that there was a woman up there with him or something. I don't fucking know, but he had cut her off multiple times. Says stupid shit like, well, I've been in there a couple times. He said he literally can't get through an entire fucking fight without mentioning that he used to once fight. Like, yeah, we know. That's why you have the commentary gig, because believe me, if you weren't a well-known fighter, you would not have that fucking job. I don't get it, man. I don't know. I see so many people in comment sections saying how hilarious Michael Bisping is. I can't. I don't think he's funny at all. I think that if there was like a roast battle and the MMA guru would make him so fucking mad that he would try to attack him. And that's what would happen. And, yeah, man. I'm pretty sure, like I said, that Jesse on Fire is the guy who was confirming that Michael Bisping hates him. I don't get it, dude. It's internet. Don't take it so fucking hard. Guy's a world champion. It's funny too, because he brings that up whenever there's criticism, but it reflects more on you as a world champion that you're even considering, or taking the time out of your day to reply to these. Like, it's fucking strange, dude. What's that quote from one Tywin Lannister? A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of sheep. Everybody gets it fucking wrong, but I'm pretty sure I nailed it because I've read those books multiple times. But that's like what he should be following if he wants to act like Mr. Big Man. But he can't. His ego's too fucking big. That's why he goes at these burner accounts. And he's wrong on almost every level. Straight up wrong. I don't care. Dislike away. Dislike away. I don't like Michael Bisping, man. I not as a person. I don't like his commentary, and I don't like the way I don't like guys that don't take criticism. Look, in some of my first videos, I got a criticism that my profile picture made a guy not want to click. I was slightly offended by this because it was my fucking face that was my profile picture, except I was wearing sunglasses. And he said, I thought to myself, who the fuck's this guy in the shades? And I thought, okay, what, has everybody just like now associated sunglasses with Andrew Tate, and I'm not allowed to wear fucking sunglasses? Camera's out of focus. Fucking fantastic. Come back. But I changed it because I thought, okay, if he's like that, then maybe other people are too. So I came up with a logo, and I made my profile picture my logo. You got to take criticism, man. It's good to take criticism. It's a good lesson to learn. Don't be like Michael Bisping. Don't let your ego get in the way. And also, don't shit on somebody coming up who has made dude, Michael Bisping's a fucking hypocrite. Actually, I just thought of this. I wish I put it earlier in the video. When him and Conor were going back and forth, he's talking about, Conor said something about the level of success, and Michael Bisping says, yeah, money's not the only way to measure success. Well, I would say to Michael Bisping, well, yeah, neither are YouTube subscriptions, which are directly correlated with money. What he's doing is basically shitting on a guy's bag. He's wallet watching the MMA guru, and he's making fun of him. The MMA guru clearly ain't hurting, because otherwise he wouldn't be putting out content as regularly as he did, because he'd be working a job. He's modest. And he's not fucking being a pretender and buying all these fancy clothes and nice shoes and chains and dumb shit like this. He's trying to set himself up. And he doesn't have, and yes, you earned every fucking bit of it, but he does not have the previous career to fall back on to then leverage to get better careers in the future. He just doesn't. And I think it's cringe as fuck, and extremely hypocritical to shit on a guy like that when after, especially that back and forth with Conor wasn't that long ago on Twitter. And I gotta say something too. I think it's only gone out of focus a couple times, but I fucking hate it. I've got a ring light here. My face looks like a ghost. I look white as shit, dude. White as bird shit. I look like a shit from an animal that eats bones. Okay, I don't like it. And I've even got like the tan light on, so. But hopefully it helped the focus issue. I hope I'm not forgetting any good points, man. I really don't like seeing guys that are, that have made it just shit on dudes who are trying to get there. Clout chase and blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. You don't understand internet culture. It should be a compliment that if I put your fucking name in a title, which I'm gonna do, I get more clicks. Like, do you not understand analytics? No, because he's paying someone to do that. Camera's out of focus again, so the light don't matter. Okay, so he's got a guy to do the fucking shit for him like this. The MMA guru's doing it all himself, and I appreciate it. Okay, so he gives us good content. He says the actual hot takes, not Keon Kimura hot takes that are popular on Twitter. He says actual hot takes that people get mad at him for. Like me shitting on Luke Thomas. But anyways, these are my thoughts on this whole situation. I think that Michael Bisping needs to lighten the fuck up when he's on the internet, not take himself so seriously, and understand that just because you had a camera's out of focus, just because you had a very successful career in the UFC does not make you God, and it doesn't mean that every other career you have, you are absolutely perfect at. Okay? So anyways, like and subscribe. Let me know if I forgot any points. Tell me if you agree or disagree with me. Yeah, I'm going to thank you in advance once again before we leave this video. Thank you so much for your subscription. Greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you at the next one. Hopefully Keon Kimura comes up with another hot take video that is just so dumb so I can do another one. All right, I'm going to piss my pants, so see you later.